said, he's expecting to bounce back for the subline, but you're going up against Atlanta. This is very, very difficult. The only shining light has been Skies, who's #1 overall hardpoint KD so far in this stage. Everyone else, though, you need to start to step up.
Absolutely got to have it. 3 of the maps run backs from the last time they met, but this is your monster energy matchup. New York Subliners taking on the Atlanta FaZe. Let's get it on. Rio Hardpoint to kick things off. First 2 kills. Surprise. Atlanta find their way into the time with a couple of eliminations to keep earning early Hardpoint score here.
And now they get all 4 kills. So New York Subliners are forced to hit the reset. Now trying to re-break their way up with attack usage up through Sodas, up through Eskies. They finally initiate 2 fights, but already 30 seconds remaining on this P1. Atlanta have done a great job of soaking a majority this time, but taking more ground around the map. Now you're going to force the Subliner to hit that early rotation.
I mean, you saw it on the graphic. What's the principle? Simping ain't easy. 3-1 start for him. Kismet able to trade things out. Decent opportunity here for New York to not just contest the time, but find a way maybe to rotate over, but the kills just not coming their way. Here we go again. We got Celium shooting bodies for 2 straight weeks against what is supposed to be top 4 opponents. Think they're feeling confident, Jay? I'd say so.
Without question, man. And they're already taking 30 seconds off of P1. They were able to flip those spawns as well. So now the Subliners are forced to work their way all the way across the map, potentially flip the spawns or even get close to the hill, because Atlanta FaZe are just playing picture-perfect Call of Duty. This is what they've been able to hit that next level with. Stage 1, Atlanta FaZe relied on a lot of breaking into HPs. But ever since that stage, it's all been about the fundamentals. We're rotating early. We're going to set up early. They're one of the best whole teams in the game. And now with only 30 seconds left, Subliners able to flip the spawns. But for how long? You need to get some hill time.
Well, the thing about it is we talked about this when we watched this team play earlier in this week in this qualifiers. Atlanta's fine playing this hard point from the front.
Oh, yeah.
Trap you on these little jump ups, this backside gate, and New York is unable to do anything. And I mean, who is going to fight against these guys, bro? 50-6, and we're going to have Atlanta winning rotation again. This is filthy.
Yeah, and Hydra sitting at 1-A, and the opposite side draws at 11-3, but FaZe finds a double off the rotation. That's another rotation being won on the backside of Atlanta FaZe, and now the Subliners are forced to break into another money hill where they're sitting at 9th overall in this map. They just haven't found any success. Finally, they show some presence toward top middle. They have some presence over towards boxes, but all the kills in the feed are Atlanta. These guys are just the best.
Dude, it's something about Atlanta on 150 HP titles, bro.
Dude!
They're impossible to trade. Holy cow. 73-8. Spawns are still in. Hit from the front, looking decent here from New York, but it feels so hard to bring like even commentary to these matchups because it's just such a one-sided affair. Simp getting it done. Another 3-man feed. Rinse, wash, repeat. Maybe they're born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Atlanta FaZe is dominating again.
And look at the Subliners on your mini-map. They're not even thinking about the rotation. They're trying to push through ult to flip the spawns for Atlanta to start the spawn out towards the backside of P2. But it's Atlanta FaZe again, off the rotation, properly set up. These gunfights are going to get a lot more difficult, not easy. Celium going for the 2-piece, but shooting his bodies is even working even better. And now the Subliners are forced to break into the hill. Finally, with that 2-piece, they're going to be able to successfully find the break, but for how long?
Okay, let's take a breath, New York. Let's get ourselves back in here. See what you can do to survive through this cruise missile. Maybe have an opportunity to get some more time in the back 30. Never mind. Wow. Just freaking wow. What do you say?
I wake up every Sunday, Alan. I see, okay, we got Atlanta FaZe to cast. We're going to get a banger. They're playing a top 14, but this is what they have been doing. Like, if they're going to play like this all throughout the stage, going up to the major, there's no one in hell that's going to be able to contest them because they're the best S&D team. They're without question one of the top hardpoint teams and the best control team. You had to figure out a weakness for this roster, and they simply have none.
It's just unreal because it's one of those things on top of, we talked about this during the Optic matchup when we had them a couple of weeks ago, where, hey, a lot of Atlanta's weaknesses were killed when the map pool changed.
Yep.
You know, Invasion Hardpoint was one of their worst. As soon as the hardpoints moved around and the spawns changed, they just instant vetoed that. And I mean, now it's really just the sub base is the only bad map they have in their pool.
Oh my God!
What are we doing? 135-30. And I mean, what? Helps to someone. Spawn a 6th person into the map. Maybe that will help.
Subliners need to stop the bleeding somewhere, Alan. They just go one by one. Everyone's trying to make some individual plays happen, and they're just simply getting outclassed by the teamwork of Atlanta FaZe. Every time you get one, it's instantly going to be traded. They're still doing a great job of soaking up a majority of this P5 hill time, and they're already break that 150-point mark. And with that bridge control that they currently have, they're going to find themselves winning another rotation, this time over to P1.
This is ridiculous. I mean,
It's not even fun. I'm not having fun.
I mean, I'm having fun, don't get me wrong. This is some, I mean, again, it's like the perfect example of how you play lockdown, clean hardpoint. Whether it's on rotation and setting up holds, I would say setting up for break attempts. They haven't had to do that often, but I imagine the comms are vibing, so we'll take a step away and see what the FaZe comms sound like with an Atlanta FaZe listening.
One might be chowing at our side. Caesar bending heading. Oh,
I'm playing there.
Hey, they don't.
Hero.
What are you playing?
I'll play.
Or economy. He's lobby or something.
You went deep, I think. I deep.
That's me.
On hill, Caesar dead. One shot, Caesar. I got after fucking what?
You pocket the kids.
I think it's.
He's trying to play.
Let me see kids though.
I saw him on the pillars. On the pillars, I think.
I'm one left. I'm trying to hold on. I got it.
I'm dead in the front heading.
Another one ramp weak. Both weak.
Lay down.
On
the heading. Hydra. Two there. Lay down time.
I'm just stuck. I did up.
I'm pitching the
I shouldn't kill it.
Yeah, they're all spawning on you, Chris. They're all spawning on you 100%. This is massive time. This is a game.
These are white car. One
What's
shot.
on the van?
I'm just
staying down.
Pitching one shot or half.
On the van. Okay.
Keep focused playing these guys. I'm gonna go bridge, okay? Everyone push through this.
Ram laying down weak.
Everyone push through this. Everyone push through this.
You are fucking terrible.
Yeah, the gameplay says enough, but I think the comms also tell us that this is, again, all business right now for Atlanta. And, you know, we were talking for a moment there, Jay, and I think the question is important to kind of throw into the community. I'm sure Zuma and the Flank will talk about it later. You asked the question, is this FaZe better than Cold War FaZe?
Yeah, and I agree. I completely, without question, think that this roster is the best Atlanta FaZe roster that's ever been formed. We're talking about every single map, every single mode, they are the top of their game. And they're going up against top teams and making them look like bottom teams. It's 220 to 88. Finally, the Subliners, even with the back spawns, are trying to fight their way back into this game. But as I say that, even the Beezy's jumping in on shooting the bodies. Like, these guys can do no wrong.
It's just 3-for-1s every time. No one can get trades. 3-for-1. It's just, wow. I'm telling you, friends, there's not much you could say here besides hashtag FaZe up. Easy AF. That's about all it is. You can do it too, but maybe not, because right now it's just all FaZe all the time. And this might be, if the score holds, this will be their biggest blowout on the year so far, which is almost surprising to say considering how dominant they've been.
And they're doing it versus a top 4 team, Alan.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing is, like, we've only seen 100-point clubs so far in this season. And thankfully, Subliners are not going to be featured in that category. They're still doing a great job so far of at least trying to hold down this P4 time. But Atlanta FaZe only need 11 seconds. One set of kills, map 1 is theirs, and that might just be it.
Yeah, sure feels that way. Could be just the last 1v1.
Oh, man.
I mean, we're just sacrificing our bodies. 250 to 105. That is now their biggest hardpoint win. The next closest was last week, 250-127 versus Ultra. So no one's holding the candle to these guys, man. Unreal.
The faces of the Subliners says it all. They looked left and right at the end of the map. They don't know what the hell they just spawned into, but that's why you don't square up against Atlanta FaZe on a map like Rio. It's not like the Subliners are any pushovers on Rio HP. They were 5-1. It's just they've suffered a couple losses to Atlanta FaZe, and Atlanta FaZe, without question, are the best Rio HP team we have in the game. That was utter destruction for them from start to finish. Subliners cannot find an opening. Like, Every time they try to hit an early rotation, Atlanta FaZe bombard them with the kills, flip the spawns, force the New York Subliners to break into hills where it's not on the preferred side. No one even breaks 4K damage. No one gets even close. And, yeah, there's nothing really left else to say. Atlanta FaZe is dominate map number 1, man.
And the thing that's, I think, look, I don't mean to throw any sort of like negative side into this, but the thing about for this Atlanta FaZe team is like you may sometimes expect teams that are just dominating this much to kind of let off the gas a little bit, maybe get a little complacent. That's usually the worry if you were to come and try to criticize a top team. That hasn't been evident at all in any stretch of the word since this qualifier has come through, really since Major 2's qualifier and LAN came through. These guys are absolutely dominating everybody, and it feels like each week they get better. Like they're just leveling up every single time we see them. I mean, again, to come off of a 250 to 127 win versus Toronto on 6-star, and now put a 250 to 105 up against New York, I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, there's just no big 3 or big 4. There's only big me. That's what Nameless said on the desk, and Atlanta FaZe are showing that. Because these guys are just simply untouchable right now. And the thing that makes it more difficult is the map pool change, because it got rid of Skid Row, which is like a 50-50 map. It got rid of the invasions, which was a struggle for them. So every single series, the only thing that they have to get rid of is sub-base HP. Because the new maps, they've only played a couple times, but Atlanta FaZe, for some reason, whenever new maps come in, they are one of the best teams at it off the rip of the game. And now, with them dominating the way they are in Hardpoint, they're trying to expand their map pool in Search and Destroy, but they are the #1 Search and Destroy team in the game. That's why we're going to have 6-star in map number 2, where neither squad has played it. Both teams are trying to expand their map pool in Search and Destroy specifically, but just the way that Atlanta FaZe are playing, like, it's just hard as hell to stop them. Look at this game flow. Not even close.
You could build a Walmart in between the New York line versus the Atlanta line right there. Oh, unreal. This is, wow. Okay. Not that we needed to be impressed anymore, but we keep getting more and more impressed by these guys. And like you already framed up, a perfect frame up, mind you, as well. The 6-star search, again, have not seen it from either of these two teams. We obviously saw that when Rio came into the mix, it was kind of a slow starter to get it into the map pool for Atlanta. But when they did, still a round 11, round 10 win. And then here in Major 3 qualifiers, 6-1, 6-1. So now it's time to try 6-star. You know what you're going to get out of High Rise. You definitely know what you're going to get out of Invasion. So this is about trying to, again, be indomitable from every angle in map vetoes and pools. Throw in the 6-star. If they're just as good here as they are in every other search they play, yeah, this team I think maybe walks away as one of the best to ever see the CDL.
And that's the scary thing, is that if they come out on 6-star map that they have yet to spawn in as a unit and they dominate this map, it's just like, what the hell do we do? All the other teams in the CDL, what are we going to do to try to slow these guys down? Because you take a look at the S&D metrics so far in Major 3, 10-2 in attacking rounds, first. Defensive rounds, 8-4, first. They have just been dominating the hell out of everyone that they have played. And in the opposite side for the Subliners, obviously in the last 4 Search and Destroys, they've lost 3. They used to be the top S&D dog when you had them Ordnance gloves in the back pocket. Could no longer hit those long nades, and it's been showing because New York have been struggling.
Yeah, and the interesting thing I think about, you know, these Atlanta numbers is their attacking rounds and their defensive rounds come in maybe unexpected ways. Opening duel percentage is actually really good on the attacking side, but they really struggle at getting the bomb planted. And maybe there's some ability of they don't need to because they're just winning by way of kills. But the opposite is kind of true on the defense, where they haven't necessarily been particularly great in finding opening duel percentages on their defensive side, but their retake is unbelievably good, still ranking 3rd, and a lot of that is happening in 3v4s. So it's one of those things that it's this Atlanta team, it gets it done in multiple ways, and they find ways to win rounds. Whereas for New York, this qualifier, like you kind of already alluded towards, has not necessarily been as clean. Maybe a bit of a regain when they played against Surge last week, but you know, still a lot to be left to desire here for the New York Subliners across the board.
Yeah, and I think the one major thing that the Subliners have to focus on is getting Hydra going in Search and Destroy. Because if you remember all of last stage, Kism to Hydra 1-2 overall S&D KD in the stage. But right now, Hydra is currently bottom 3 with a 0.6, so he has to try to turn it around.
Yeah. First blood, good for BZ. Sib will drop in. Kismet with the bomb really sees this as a non-option over towards B. Is that seen on the cross? It looked like aBeZy took a little peek over towards mid. A quick rotation back for FaZe. They're gonna have to give up the plant. And again, this goes right into that retake percentage we were talking about. Maybe not even needing that, because there's shots that pull Kismet off from the plant. And now New York has to sit and wait to see if Atlanta gets baited into trying to retake the site. And, well, Sky's cool angle over towards the bottom side of Skybridge. We'll turn this to a 3v3. Draza slips away to keep it at that way, though.
Oh, but Celium is there to fill that gap, finds that kill onto Skies, and now the objective is going to go down for the Subliners. Hydra finds one, instantly going to be traded. Kismet left to clutch on up.
And he tries to just run right at Draza, who doesn't even get tagged. I mean, I get it. You need to force and try to isolate a 1v1 wherever possible, but just too much cushion, too much space for Draza to back off, reset, have the perfect centering, and both players letting him know about what that challenge looked like from their perspective. Wow. Clean stuff in the first round for FaZe.
Yeah, aBeZy, what is he? 77% chance at finding an opening first blood, and he found one right off the rip in this game. So that stat is going to continuously go on up, but Atlanta FaZe showing the teamwork. Had one player roaming over towards A, and then once you find that one kill at B, you get the info, and then you retake together, at least trade efficiently over towards the site. So Atlanta FaZe showing dominance on their first defense, but now they're going back to attack, where we usually see all-out pressure over towards A.
And that's exactly what's happening. Challenge, though, from Hydra. He's going to make all the way over towards the bottom side. Being watched, sort of, by Celium. First blood good for aBeZy as he just pushes right through, finds the isolation on the bottom of the bridge, and now tons of information from Cell saying that it's not one but two players over towards the mid bar, and that leads to a very quick plant here for FaZe.
These guys are just delusional. Like, aBeZy just runs right up to the statue, pushes the Skybridge, and instantly flanks Hydra through bottom secret, and now they have the entire map cut off. The trade comes in for Skies. It's instantly going to be a 3v2, but 30 seconds left. Both players from the Subliners trying to retake from mid.
And there's just so many questions. You can see number 4 and Sib is still watching this pinch to see if anyone from FaZe has gotten aggressive through. And aBeZy is not really tempted to take that route. First intel from Draza. Turnaround from Cell is good. aBeZy now ready to follow up, and there's just no way you break through that choke point against 3 FaZe members fully prepared for it. Quick 2-0 up.
That's just like a very delusional round right there of Atlanta. All out pressure towards A. You know where the pressure is going to come in, but aBeZy doesn't slow down. Like, Hydra, I thought he put himself in a great position towards bottom secret. Could potentially play a timing for the jump up to catch a kill, but when aBeZy pushes through your side of the Skybridge and flanks you through your back end, you already lose you already lose focus on where your side of the map is. You don't have any mid-map control, and then even when you try to commit on the flank, Atlanta FaZe had everything cut off. 2 flawless rounds in this S&D so far.
And it is puzzling to see Hydra make that push up through bottom secret without anyone being behind him. No trophies as well, so as soon as aBeZy throws a stun and doesn't hit anybody, he says, okay, I'll just keep going then, I guess. Set up here for Atlanta over the middle of the map. aBeZy in a little bit of trouble here at the DJ booth, and yeah, will be confirmed. Good follow-up from Kismet with the Semtex. Simp still over towards the mid bar, pushing out, finds the first onto Simp for the trade. Follow-up from Kismet, though, will keep the numbers in favor of the Subliners, and now they're going to get a 3v1 post plant with Cell on the other side of the map.
Okay, now Celium in a 1v3. Subliners are fully set up, watching every single angle, and Kismet's able to find that kill. Good job from New York to apply a lot of pressure through mid. You find the first blood onto aBeZy, who's their most aggressive player, and then you trade efficiently through the middle of the map while working that objective over towards A. Subliners finally put one on the board.
Yep, about time. Oh, okay, that was
something on the board. Just something on the board. You know what I'm saying now?
Yeah, that was a little aggressive. Apologies, New York fans. But okay, is that the way into this series? Forget about map 1. Forget about those first 2 rounds. Get yourself set up. Play off your playbook. Don't just allow Atlanta to do whatever the hell they want. Here we go again. Hydra, this time not going to play down low. Just going to hit a little bit of a heading on the statue. Kismet for the first. Hydra follows up on the second once more. Celium able to confirm a trade, but the bomb is now dropped, and it's a 3v2 in favor of the Subliners defense.
Now, the Subliners have the numbers, but do they account for where Simp is taking ground at? Pushing right up to the DJ booth. The bomb is going to be down over towards A. Celium finds his second on the round. Info already gained, so you're trying to isolate this last player here.
Oh, because mid key 1v1. Cell trying to follow up, able to at least get the quick trade to the 1v1. And Skies, where's the call out? He was down at the stairs the whole time. And Skies is looking, thinking maybe he pushed up into U-Haul, but it's a pistol for Cell that gets the job done with the 1v2. Skies is looking the wrong way.
And that's a 2v4 as well. Pretty sure Celium finds an ace on the round. Like, Even when you have the numbers, you're thinking everything's all fine and dandy. Atlanta FaZe somehow, some way, whip it out of the ass. Like, they're just getting it done. Celium just shuts it down through that top window. Even off the back of New York taking a lot of mid-map control, Atlanta FaZe cuts up.
I mean, this is a straight rundown. Production telling us that was a 37-second round. I mean, it's legitimately all gas, no brakes. Okay, 4v4. Nothing towards A. Looking at Atlanta, how they want to try to play retake here. That would be a voluntary call of this setup. Knowing they've got full B control, you have to have some sort of a second level to this call saying, this is how we retake A, and it very well may be off the flank. And I don't know if Kismet has even sniffed out how many players are here. Does catch the first. That's a good first blood.
That's a big kill from Kismet. Also is able to find the second. Shoots a little bit of the body. Hydra finds the third, and now it turns to Simp in a 1v4. No way in hell he's going to even sniff a W in this round.
No chance.
Only 25 seconds left. Yeah, no chance.
I mean, if he pulls this off. There we go. New York. I love that. You know, again, just as much as they were framing up the Atlanta defense, voluntarily giving away that site, trying to play through the B side of the map. New York, very good awareness on the read. Turn it into a quick plant. Watch your mid. Play the bulletproof doors. Yeah, that makes that retake very difficult on the A side. Well done.
Yeah, that round is just completely different, though, if Atlanta FaZe are able to sniff out the Bulldog and Kismet. The fact that he's able to be the island player and catch 2 on a deep pinch, it basically secures the round for the Subliners right off of the rip. That's why you've seen him shoot a little bit of the bodies. He's starting to bark a little bit, trying to give his team some energy to fight back into this search and destroy. But now you have to have an answer for Atlanta on their attacking grounds. Every single time it's been all-out aggression over towards A, but this time they're going to slow that one down, spread the map a little bit.
And if there were to be one player you want to start barking up, it is the Bulldog. Kismet 8-3, 3 in a row. Information on that little deep opening play off the defensive push through Palm. Here in the Aqua area, follow-up from Hydra. They look like they want to challenge this. Atlanta holding back just a touch, ready to receive if this does end up being an aggressive defensive play, but no reason to move any further forward here if you're New York, and they're very aware of that. Holding their ground nicely, waiting for Atlanta to make the first move.
Oh, but they're pushing right down the middle of the map. They're going to be able to at least find the first blood, find the second as well onto Hydra. Once they gained info that Kismet was pushed up towards the middle of the map, they knew that he had to be somewhat close by. He's not going to just back up all the way to his spawn.
Dude.
And then eventually they found that kill onto Sib. Now Sky's left in a 1v4.
I mean, Sib's only throwing a shoulder right there to check to see if they're going into A. A couple of the pot shots come through as Simp tries to get the bomb planted, and then the immediate follow-up or clean. I mean, it's just the simple fact that that's a double setup for New York, a little crossfire setup inside of the aquarium, and New York lose both players without a stun or a nade being thrown from Atlanta. They just flat out vanilla push it with just 2 players and find both kills. It's just unreal.
It's perfect from Atlanta because you know exactly who you're playing against. When you spot Kismet already pushes towards your middle of the map, you know that Hydra and him love to work as a duo. They're always playing for a trade. So you isolate both the SMG players and then you rotate it back towards A. Just catches the Subliners off guard. Is now Atlanta FaZe. Back to the defensive side they go. Gonna put a lot of pressure over towards A, and they're already gonna gain the info that the pressure's not gonna be here, while they're gonna push to a rat back.
Well, here's the thing, you need to win back this mid-bar position. Kismet and Simp sitting on either sides. Help from Draza starting to come through. An idea that Abizi may try to play for the pinch, but here's the thing, is as long as this is taken for Atlanta to maybe get a full read, the bomb is now just getting picked up for the first time. Smoke out. Kismet cannot see Simp through that, so no pop-up, no push through. And New York gaining a little bit of extra ground here from Hydra getting to the backside of the beach chairs will maybe lead to an opportunity for the bomb to move on over to try to get a plant off.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they still think that Abizi's in the back of their spawn. The Skies did peep and working on that deep pinch, but he's wrapped back to at least assist Simp through the middle of the map. And now that bomb is going to get planted. Kismet strikes. Can't find the trade. 3v3.
Still a decent opening first blood for New York. Helps establish this setup a little bit deeper. Celium, a couple of shots towards Hydra, but Draza does drop. So once again, New York looking good here in this post-plant setup. Simp is trying to go through the vent towards Palm side, but this is just going to take too long. Celium has to go at the exact same moment. Did not see Sib on the long cross. The opening shot's not clean either. So New York offensively looking really good here in the last handful of their attempts.
Yeah, that was very, very patient. More specifically out of Kismet. The fact that he's able to stay trigger disciplined when he spots a couple players through the middle of the map just allows that objective to work before he pounces for that first kill. And then once he finds that kill through middle, just very, very difficult to break the setup from the Subliners. Hydra was watching the overextension through side alley. And then you had the player watching deep pinch, focusing on Simp, and then it turns to a 1v3. Just a Subliner slow and steady wins the race on that attack to now go down 4-3.
Yeah, good stuff. Good manipulation around the map. Like I said, in their last couple of offensive attempts. So FaZe's defense being tested just a touch, but still holding one round cushion as now their offense looks to kind of get their first look over towards the B site. Once again, Kismet getting deep, but picked up, and aBeZy finds the kill plus a little extra. Feels like every kill is that way. Sky's trying to see if he can flush out any players over towards Tiki. Cell's taking a bit of a float. Push up from Draza. Yep, confirms the damage dealt. And that will lead to a 4v2. Atlanta FaZe surely looking to plant.
And usually this is where Atlanta FaZe would think about the plant, but even though they're one of the worst plant teams that we have in the game, they usually get it done by just simply out-killing the opposing team. Celium finds Hydra. Sib now left in the 1v4. He finds a kill onto aBeZy, but now is when you can work that objective.
Yeah, and he has to re-clear all this space towards the outside staircase. Can he get any info on the exit? Yeah, clean first one, but Celium comes up just as he starts to look away towards the jump wall. And that's enough for FaZe now. Put themselves on map point. So New York, they've been good on offense. If pending they do that again, I think the big question is how do you slow down this Atlanta attack as well? It's been pretty much all convincing offenses for both sides.
It's just because Atlanta FaZe keep getting a lot of info right off the rip. Like Simp, he was rotating his way back towards poolside, and he was able to spot Kismet going into the vent. Once he gives that comm, you see all the arrows on your minimap turn around and instantly focus on Kiz. You take care of him, and then now you know the subliners have to shift on their defensive setup, knowing where the pressure's coming in. And by the time they're shifting, you're running right into the premiums of Atlanta FaZe, and now puts them at game point.
Nice little live update on how the attack has looked for the subliners, as they will once again take their intentions early over towards B. Draza, the trusted defender of this site, really cannot peek over towards that water wall jump, as he was late to the party here. So here we go again. The subliners able to get the bomb planted without any contest. 2-2 split setup though on this post plant. They have to worry about the flank while also making sure that he gets some sort of a read over towards what's on top patio.
Yeah, there's going to be a 2-2 split from Atlanta on the retake as well.
Yeah.
You know, Simp and aBeZy deep pinch, working their way all the way on the back end. Celium and Draza trying to at least take from their side of the base. aBeZy info is going to be gained, but there's only 20 seconds left. You got to get a move on it.
This has been really good from New York, just showing a little bit of force, keeping Atlanta back. The hit from the front completely dealt with, and Sib over towards the ventilation shaft, able to find kill number 3. Help from Kismet to finish things off. And yeah, this New York offense, believe me, you friends, this has been clean, honestly. I mean, granted, there's been a lot of this kind of gamble stack for Atlanta where they're trying to blind counter with these opening setups, and then they're late to the other site. But retake-wise, the stats that we were talking about at the beginning of this map have not really come through yet for FaZe.
Yeah, it's a new map. You know, it's the first time we get to see him play. So you get it versus one of the top S&D teams that we have in the league. Obviously, you got to work on some of the adjustments, and you definitely would go back after this series is over to figure that out in the VOD sessions. But Subliners have been able to dominate that B site, and Atlanta FaZe, the complete opposite, have been able to dominate on A. 5-0 on the attacks, trying to make it 6-0 to close this one out.
Yeah, there's going to be a trophy system here to deny most of this opening New York utility. Same could be said, though, on the other side here. The New York trophy also denying a lot in terms of stuns and nades. Cell gets a really solid read of the timing here on the push through from New York. I don't think that New York actually saw Cell watching through those bulletproof doors. So first blood tallied, and New York will actually get rid of any defensive pressure on A in order to play the middle of the map. So once again, FaZe will get a post plant set up, and Kismet would have to win this 1v1, which he does. Okay, this could put a little bit of pressure on the Atlanta post plant. 2-for-1 goes the exchange. 2v2 situation to finish.
Skies and Kismet trying to clutch up and at least force around 11. At that time, it's starting to dwindle down. aBeZy trying to re-wrap his way through the middle of the map, and he might walk right into the premium of Skies. Now it's Simp left to clutch on up.
As the first on top statue, Kismet, good opening shots.
Oh my God.
Will drop. Now the finesse back away. Pistol out with the regen. No, not gonna happen. Kismet jumps right off the top ropes, finds the kill. The retake good, and we're going round 11.
And that all comes down to Kismet winning that one-on-one versus Celium, because
Absolutely.
that applied a different angle of attack for the subliners. If he falls, then you spot both the players from mid-U, and that's basically going to call the round. But Kismet, the Bulldog, has been the shining light for the subliners roster, always in search and destroy. And he's going to be able to get them to round 11. Which team is on attack, Alan? That's what it really comes down to.
New York's hoping it's them.
Yeah.
We'll see. The other side of this is, if Atlanta do spawn on defense, do they play something a little bit more orthodoxical? Doesn't matter. They're on offense first, and they are leaving the bomb behind. They're looking for full nade pressure here at A. First stuns deleted by the trophy system. Same can be said though, as Atlanta has a deep trophy, making sure they stay safe from incoming utility as well. Simp delayed play up towards Aqua. They know that Kismet likes to play this position, and it's a 1-for-1 opening trade, but still, New York get a little bit of further map progression than I'm sure Atlanta would prefer.
And now they're forced to change their defensive setup, and they're going to commit 2 players going on the deep flank. Hydra is trying to hold down the middle of the map, so if you are Atlanta, let's try to get this objective down. It's going to fall into the hands of Selim again. What kind of info can he get on the deep pinch?
He sees both.
Yep.
And so he goes right back into the bottom side of security. Hydra, can he find timing? Oh, look at this for New York. They double back to mid. In Atlanta, maybe being conditioned to touch by that quick pusher on the back last time, could get caught off guard here, but the opening battle not won, and then beams out of the SMG from Abizi. They also get the read towards Skies, who still turns it into 2. 1v1 situation. A 1v3. 4-map win for Skies. Time becoming a bit of an issue. Selling back towards security, trusting the pistol. Bold call. Just playing a bit of a heady. There's Skies on the rotation over. Has to play for the kill though. Cell, does he check? Does he get punished? Does it make a difference? There's not enough time for the defuse, and the clock will win the map. Does it make a difference? There's not enough time for the defuse, and the clock will win the map for Atlanta. Hell of an effort from Skies, but Cell plays it just a touch better, and FaZe go up 2-0.
Oh man, Celium icy in the one-on-one. I knew for Skies, once they found that double and did not have dead silence in his back pocket, he wasn't rocking those covert sneakers. Celium was in the advantage in that one-on-one. It was basically all-out attacks, a couple clutch up defense from both of the teams, but a new map for both of the teams. I wouldn't have wanted to end it any better. Round 11, down to the wire. Just Atlanta FaZe just started off way too strong on this map. They were gaining confidence every single time on their attacking rounds, and simply Subliners could not have an answer to shut down that A pressure, because Atlanta FaZe every single time opened up with the first blood, were able to gain info to eventually work that objective, and then their post plans were basically perfect. You just got to go back to that 4v2 round that the Subliners let Celium get an ace, because that was the difference maker in this game too.
1,000,000%. Offense successful on both sides. Lots of positives to take away. And of course, with that, a lot of constructive criticism towards modifying the defensive setups as we go forward. But here's the issue. For New York, you're down 0-2. And the news doesn't get much better as you move deeper into this series, because the high-rise control, has been one of those things that for New York, okay, here and there. So-and-so. I mean, they've had a couple of great showings, but a lot of it does go to round 5. Atlanta, again, like you mentioned, one of the best control teams that we have at the game. So it doesn't feel all that positive. And, again, get familiar with this graphic at the bottom of the screen, because this is a really cool look to see how the first bloods went and how the rounds went. And most of it, again, favoring the offense throughout the entirety of that map too, Jay.
And now Atlanta FaZe are feeling great. Up 2-0 in the series. You're going to a high-rise control where you're the #1 control team in the game. It's just the last time that they matched up, New York walked away with the round 5. So that's what you got to think in your back of your mind. We got to beat the hell out of them to close it out in 3.
Lots to ask, but it is the control coming up on the backside of the break. Get up, take a stretch, get a touch of breath, especially if you're a New York fan. Have to find a way to regain. So far, it's all smiles on the FaZe side. We'll head away for a quick 5-minute break and be back with a high-rise control right after this.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Death, taxes, and Atlanta FaZe beating the poop out of everybody. The things that certainly have been proven so far through Major 3. So far, Atlanta all over it. But hey, here's the other side of the coin. New York put up a fight in the search and destroy. It just comes with a little bit of disgust in the 0-2 current scoreboard and the need to take down Atlanta FaZe on a high-rise control, Jay. That's what we have in front of us.
Yeah, this is going to be a banger because we have the best defensive team going up against the best attacking team. 6-1 record for Atlanta FaZe. 7-2 record for the Subliners. So this one should go all the way down to the wire. Last time they matched up, it went all the way to around 5, and the Subliners are able to clutch on up. But for them, they have to get back to their dominance in slaying. You can tell in control, at least for Hydra, he's sitting at a 1.41. But on the opposing side, one of his main ARs, and Sib is bottom 5 in overall KD in control, sitting at a 0.81. So on a map like High Rise, you have to make sure that AR is working.
100% the case. Again, this is not a bad map by any stretch of the imagination for New York, and our observers have some kind of kitty craze going on right now.
Yeah, they love cats.
Fever. Well, it will be offense first for Atlanta, and intentions will once again kind of be through bottom blue over towards the B site, and I hope Hydra caught a nade or something because that was a little bit too quick of a kill to really justify. Good follow-up though from New York on the high ground, and it is the ARs that set themselves up with a little bit of opening defensive success.
Now Atlanta FaZe still have a lot of map control, so they have another opportunity to work their way up through the B point, but at least if you're all the Subliners, you're stabilizing with the kills through the middle of the map. Now you just got to realize where the nuisance players for Atlanta are. Is anyone going to be rotating over through low pit, or is anyone trying to get aggressive up through our base? But they are continuously holding down the mid-map control, not allowing Atlanta FaZe to get out of their spawn.
Really good stuff. A couple of kills for Atlanta do get them over towards the A zone. Just a touch. Sell on the hunt. Couple of opening shots. How does he predict skies right there? Oh my goodness. That is a absolute masterclass in micro decision making. But again, there's a lot to survive through in this opening round as High Rise continues to provide us random explosive moments. So really good from New York. I mean, perfect from New York so far. Hasn't even required too many clean kill feeds. Atlanta just has not found a way to get onto either zone with any much success.
With only 15 seconds left, you at least have to get some kind of objective work done, but they find 3 in the feed, so the game clock is going to be paused at A. Propane is already going to be blown on up, so you just have to clutch up in a bunch of these gunfights. And we'll be able to potentially close out this A segment. Second tick is about to be worked on, but Subliners using attacks to reinforce their way back in. Oh,
and they get in right before that second tick gets locked, so more importantly, this could be huge towards tick progression as we move further down this map. Spawn pressure now starting to get established. Kismet with a 7-1 opening defensive round all over it. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for New York. Okay, follow it up with your clean offense, and we got ourselves a series.
Yeah, it's a perfect bathroom break. 5 minutes that was definitely needed for the Subliners. Only giving up 1 segment on their defensive side. It's not like they're a pushover on defense. They're sitting at like 4th overall on this map. But they dominate Atlanta FaZe. Don't give them any breath to walk their way out of the spawn and even think about that objective. And now if you are Atlanta FaZe on defense, you need to be able to dominate because you cannot allow the Subliners to at least get 2 segments, and that's going to be tough.
Yep. Well, I will say, again, looking at how New York have played this high rise, they have been the most successful team on the attacking front.
Yeah.
So can they continue to have that be one of their causes for success? Trophy system down early. Kismet up top, trying to support this play towards A. Hydra looking to get a little bit deeper in towards the spawn, but he's the only one to survive. Beams, though, coming out. Again, flexing that huge KD that we were talking about earlier, but not able to do much in terms of stopping the clock down to a minute on the clock already, with New York still trying to find a way into one of these 2 zones.
And right now, Atlanta FaZe have a lot of B street control. So if you are the Subliners, you can potentially work your way up through A or through bottom pit. But it's going to fall into the hands of Abizi to at least contest over towards his B point. He's only able to take down 1. The reinforcements are going to be able to assist them. And by reinforcements, I mean a stun and sip. That's all 4 dead in the feed. Subliners with only 45 seconds left have to get something done on the objective side.
Decent shots, though, from Hydra after the stick comes through. Sib pushed off the angle and eventually dealt with by Sib. So that should open the doors to get over towards this B zone. Hoping, praying for some shots through the tarps, not going to fully land. Team nade, though, does come through, so New York can still stand on this zone with relative comfort. New York deep over towards the Atlanta spawn, but not enough success to zone off the middle of the map play. So again, the clock keeps ticking. Sib right back over the ladder. He gets a little bit of assistance from the propane tank thanks to Draza, and that may be just about all they call here on this defensive round. New York looking for maybe 1 last hit towards either of these 2 zones.
And that was a situation where you're finding a couple kills around the map. It's just Hydra was a little bit too aggressive in that scenario.
Oh.
So when his teammates were not able to stack that B point, but finally they find 3 in the feed. First segment already going to be complete. Great shots from Subliners to at least eliminate one player on that point. Are any nades or any tags going to be useful to try to at least shut down that second segment? No, Subliners get the second one done at B.
And Hydra stays alive over towards A. This is both zones at the same time here, Study. So, BZ falls off the map. Oh, this could be the offensive round coming through. Extra 60 seconds have been added. 4 life advantage towards New York, but they may not even need it. There's still 2 players on the A zone. Draza delayed by a gunfight at mid-map. Trophy system keeps his nade at bay. Has to slide into contest. Third tick of progress, about halfway completed, and the second wave will be good. New York, chef's kiss on their first offensive round.
Yeah, I thought it was a bad play by Hydra pushing up to the space, but that's why you got world champion teammates on your side. They're able to find all the kills, stack that B point, and at the same time work the progression up at A. So Atlanta FaZe are coming to spawn like, we got to stop one of these points, but unfortunately the decision was already going to be made for them because the Subliners is able to close out B, hit the rotation over towards A, stack that point, and now we're up 2-0 on the map. This is looking like, without question, the Subliners should walk away with this control.
Huge regain for them in this series. Again, fighting tooth and nail for the search and destroy. But here, it has been all New York throughout. Hydra now 13-9 in these first 2 rounds that have gone by in the blink of an eye. First blood also goes his way. Sim falls off. Tiny tears. Need to grow some bigger feet or something. Falling off left, right, and center. More kills come through for New York as they start to push the envelope over towards the Atlanta spawn. Kismet in place. Sky's watching over his corner. Here's the follow-up hit. Looking decent, but the trades will allow Atlanta to at least get out of spawn for now.
Yeah, those size 4 shoes for the Tiny Terrors is not playing a big part walking across ledges. And now you're allowing the Subliners to put you into the trap. You also have a cruise missile to work with in the back pocket for Skies, just in case it gets a little bit freaky, but Atlanta FaZe have not had any breathing room. Subliners are dominating so far on this map.
Clean. 4 life advantage. Skies top heli. Able to find one. Gets a read that there's more nearby, but not 100% sure on where exactly the intention is for this Atlanta approach. It will be a clock stopped over towards B. Draws are the ones staying on for now. Sib looking to hit a bit of a route. May need to find success with it because that's 4 now in the feed. Now it's both zones at the same time for Atlanta. 2 on for B. First tick lock. Second surely will be given as well. Trophy system looks like it's fully healthy. And you've got Celium and BZ working on getting forward through A. Not just on it, but through it. They call the cruise missile. Second tick has been locked. Draza still working though on the third, and he will be traded out. New York will regain control. Now 20 seconds left.
And it's their last push. Atlanta FaZe have to make this one count or they will be 3-0 in control. Celium finds the first simp with the trade through the middle of the map, able to put the game clock again at a pause with 14 seconds left. But it's still a bunch of players from the Subliners contesting over towards B Street. Just one more set of kills. This map's theirs.
10 seconds left. Atlanta, not an option besides to hopefully get the extra 60 towards B. But there's really not much of a route to hit. It's just this one from Abizi. Gets the first. Reads that Skies is in the elevator, but Sib is right there to support. Simp, the last one left, needs to slide in. Not going to get there in time. And wow, was that the fastest high-rise control we've had all year? Because it sure felt like it. We were in it, and then we were out of it that quick. And I will say that is massive for New York to say, okay, we are in it. And production's telling us that was 7 minutes and 22 seconds on map number 3.
Hey, to handle Atlanta FaZe, who are the best control team, like the way you just did, that's a lot of confidence for the Subliners in this series. They just went to a round 11 to search and destroy. If that one went the opposite way, then the Subliners would have been able to be up 2-1 in this series. But now you got some life. You're able to fight back with a dominant performance in that control. It's just Atlanta FaZe couldn't get anything going. On their first attacking round, you find a couple opening kills, but it was always New York coming out on top in those trade fights. And then you get to the defensive side, and with the Subliners just able to reinforce with their numbers, dominating over towards B Street, they just shut it down. Like, Kismet barely had to do anything. 1,700 damage. He was cooling it, 12 and 12, but the AR is putting down damage. Hydra setting the tone with the pacing, hitting routes off the hot bombs, pushing into their base. 17 non-traded kills, 3,500 damage. No one had to go above and beyond. That was just a very, very clean map from the Subliners.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. We may have ourselves a series now all of a sudden, because New York, after the slow map number 1, a stiff fight in the second map, and then here, all New York all the time. And the bigger thing about it is, like we talked about, New York has been statistically one of the best offensive teams on this map. But boy, I'll tell you, this defense has come a long way. I mean, they were up and early in the kill feed, and that turned into immediate map pressure. They just weren't giving Atlanta any breathing room, it felt like, throughout the majority of this map.
Yeah, to do that versus a team like Atlanta as well, because they're third on attacks. Like, it's not like they're any slouches on their attacking rounds. They usually find a lot of success where you talk about just gaining segments. But the good thing for the Subliners is that they were always keeping the kill stagnant. No one was going 2 to 3 dead. And then every time they were going 2 to 3 dead, it was instantly responded by a player from Atlanta FaZe jumping off the map or losing a couple clutch gunfights. So New York Subliners gained a little bit of momentum at the end of this control, but it's not going to get any easier because now you're going into a Karachi HP, which is Atlanta FaZe, one of their strong suits. And for the Subliners, they're sitting at an overall 500 on this map. It hasn't really treated them well on Karachi.
Yeah, it's been kind of one of those things that had early on really favored the Subliners play style, like in Major 1.
Yeah.
But then as it kind of got through the second major and now into this Major 3 qualifiers, it's been kind of a mixed bag. I think in most recent memory, you look at that Seattle Surge matchup and you say, what the heck happened there? And that was one of those series that I think you overall look at and say, that didn't feel like our normal New York team based on the kind of general consensus we've been able to build for the entirety of the season. But like you said, Karachi Hardpoint has been a staple of what FaZe has brought to a map pool. They're really, really strong on it. Their average point differential is outrageous, and you just don't love the idea of New York having to see that as part of a mandatory reverse sweep in this particular series.
And it's just tough because you guarantee have to see that because Atlanta FaZe really don't have any bad maps. The only one that they have bad is going to be that sub base, but every single series they're going to get rid of it. And as you take a look at our stats for the map 1 of this series, Draza is telling we're doing whatever the hell they wanted. 2.2 for Draza, 1.62 for Celium. Those guys are just ahead of the game when you talk about rotations, and that's what the Subliners need to focus on this next map is you got to learn how to cut your losses and put yourself in the best possible setup off the rotation because that's what got them off the back foot and continuously falling down. And map number 1 is that they wouldn't cut their losses. They were challenging a lot of the dunk time, and then when you're challenging a lot of the dunk time, Atlanta FaZe are doing a great job in the fundamental aspect of just rotating early, setting up on some of these insane head glitches, and then making it difficult for you to even find success at either one of these hills. So if you are the New York Subliners, you usually find yourself off the rotation. That's their bread and butter. But the hold percentage and the break percentage needs to be a lot better just in case you're not there first.
Well, here's an overarching look at how the Hardpoint has gone. FaZe have not played Karachi Hardpoint so far in this qualification stage, but you know, that's one of those things that they haven't needed to, if you even want to call it.
You would test map pool in this one. You know, you get 6 stars in, you get the vistas in, you know?
Yeah. And the thing is, rotationally, hold-wise, this Atlanta team is difficult to deal with. So lots of questions here in terms of how New York will try to combat that. Opening Hardpoint, though, over towards P1. Lots of high ground focus for New York. We know that Atlanta kind of likes to take their time on their approach here. Try to see if they can flush out this high ground first and then approach the hill. And so far, New York, really good setup around the Hardpoint. They've got every answer already put together for them.
Yeah, they take full advantage of Atlanta FaZe playing super slow off the beginning of the game. Usually when you're on Atlanta FaZe's side to start off, you're instantly going to be the team into the point. They didn't want to go 2 to 3 dead and then give up all map control to the Subliners, but that decision has been made for them. Only 20 seconds remaining on P1. You have to start hitting this rotation if you are Atlanta FaZe. They find 3 in the feed, so they're going to be able to get the break, and that's even better shots out of Sim. You see the jaw drop to the ground. Cannot believe he just won that gunfight, and now off the rotation, Subliners are forced to jump over this dumpster.
Yeah, and you're going to get a little bit of a refocus through the middle of the map just to avoid that. And this will be largely read by FaZe, but not dealt with. That's the thing about it. So now Simp kind of has to hit the deck here. Draws a nearby. First shot's good from Simp. Still streaking it together. 5-in-1 start. And now it's just about the finesse game. And there may not be many better, if any better, than Simp at pulling stuff like this. Simp's got to be thinking, where the hell did he go? Kismet finally able to get the shutdown, but it comes 1 kill too late. Cruise missile earned, and FaZe trying to reinforce from the front. Still have a chance to challenge the Hardpoint, which with that elimination from Abizi, they will own the numbers, at least for a time, to allow Draza to get a little bit more score built up.
Yeah, it's going to turn into a one-on-one, and Hydra's able to get the better of Draza in that gunfight. So the final 25 is going to go in favor of the Subliners, but off the rotation, this is where Atlanta FaZe need to be able to stop the bleeding, and with them dying off the rotation, this is where Subliners can start to get aggressive, but you still see at least a couple spawns for Atlanta FaZe, still going to be over towards the P3 side. One player's going to spawn all the way out, so the rest of the players have to clutch up in these fights to not lose spawns.
thing about it is Hardpoint's going to open here, and Atlanta is still trying to get someone back to get into the Hardpoint. What does this do with spawns for New York? Ooh, bridge side spawn for Sib. He's going to catch a BZ off guard. FaZe, okay, it's going to be Draza spawning in the exact same position to essentially guarantee his own trade. Sib is not going to like this. Pistol out, now back to the MCW. Shots are clean, enough to help sell him out for one initial trade, but still a really scrappy battle to confirm control over what happens at the third hardpoint. Every kill, a massive one, and finally, Atlanta come on top of the kill feed to get themselves set up with 30 seconds till the fight for it.
Yeah, they're able to reinforce their numbers in towards the point, and now with only 25 seconds remaining on this P3, Subliners have to be playing the exit kills. Try to trap them in as long as you can, but we know going over towards the P4, it's all about the positioning, not really about soaking up a majority of that hell time. So with Draza sitting on 4 in a row, make it 5. He's one off earning himself a cruise missile, and keep in mind, Sip already has one in the back pocket.
A second one would be really deadly towards New York's efforts. So a shutdown, I won't say feels mandatory, but it would be nice. Sib playing deep, caught by selling. I was about to say, if he can get to a sneaky spot topside market, he would be a good insurance policy to this initial setup outside the store, finding a lot of value. But there's kill number 6 for Draza. So now 2 cruise missiles have been earned. Trophy system down for Atlanta, trying to find their way back in. Sky's topside castle does well to at least confirm the first kill. Hard for Atlanta to find an entryway in with New York guns absolutely ready for every single fight. Simp trying to force something along the backside. Can he get more than just the first, though? Sees the dead body. That alerts him towards Kiz's position, but the trades go out in favor of New York. Still 20 seconds to fight.
And New York do a great job. They were trapped in towards the back, and I know Atlanta FaZe were thinking we can trap them in and potentially soak up a lot of that hill time, but New York kept finding trades efficiently, and then were able to at least walk away with 25 to 30 seconds on that P4. Now you're going to force Atlanta to give that one up. Hit the rotation over towards New, but this is where the Subliners have to find some success. When Atlanta FaZe rotate early with about 25 to 30 seconds left, New York can't even get close to the hill. They need a break.
First setup looking decent here for FaZe. Cell tested over towards the middle of the map, but dealing with the pressure that is starting to be amassed here by New York. Hydra over towards the cubby at barrels. Looked at by Sib, the stun lands, but just a little bit too late to center up on the shot. Sib, knowing he's got low health pools, hoping he can find the connection onto Sib. Topside barrel, such a tricky position to force him out from, and eventually the third subliner will deal with it. So now New York really starting to build a bit of a lead. Cruise missile number 1 gets called in. That will take care of Kismet, but the spawns for Atlanta are still pretty far out here, so New York has a chance to establish a rebreak.
Yeah, they definitely do, because Selim still has not yet earned himself that trophy system to at least keep him alive on that point. So with the Subliners have all in the numbers towards the backside of the junkyard area, they're just going to be able to funnel their way through. At least if you are Atlanta, you're keeping them off for this time. You can take the final 9, but this is where you have to make up for it. Atlanta didn't get any time off the P1 last go around, but they're going to be fully set up this time.
Big first rotation of hills, though, for New York. Simp, good gunfight down low at Rubble. Turns and finds Kismet on the high ground as well. And Skies will back away and wait for a little bit more assistance here. Atlanta trying to find their way to get this thing back to a tie game. Good support over the top. Draza also going to get over towards topside castle. Sib trying to wait and predict this gunfight. And now New York have numbers, but a BZ just kind of sneaks behind. Not enough to grab 2, and New York still hold control of the hard point, right back in the lead.
And they have AC control as well, so this is going to be very difficult for Atlanta. They try to break through red or try to push up through Soda. Draza does find one, but Hydra doing a great job of at least staying alive in towards the point. Simp, the pimp, almost finds 3 with the pistol. Unfortunately, does fall, but there's only 20 seconds left. If you are Atlanta, try to keep them off of this P1, but you need to make this count at Cafe.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case, and that they're setting up to really establish a very far forward line of scrimmage here. Simp playing over towards, I'm pretty selling him towards Junkyard. Simp the one playing into the hard point, and the only route available right now is the one that Hydra is hitting, and he gets shut down. So the zone of control is immense right now for FaZe. Split spawn situation for the Subliners, seeing if they can find a way to make the most of it, see if they can catch this Atlanta defense a bit off guard.
And I love the way that Atlanta are playing this. They're consistently pushing out towards Junk. They want to spawn New York over towards the backside, so they're forced to either hit Soda Alley or to jump over to try to break in towards Cafe. And that makes Atlanta FaZe a lot easier off the rotation towards next. Just got to clutch up on these fights. They are trading effectively. A BZ finds a dumple. And now, Simp, it's your turn to just finesse into the Cafe like you did the last go around.
And he's doing it perfectly. That double from Abizi is everything to one-dimensionalize this next New York hit, but the rebreak is still looking pretty positive. Now it's just down to Sal, who was able to turn up and take care of a low HP Hydra. So a moment of contest for the Subliners, but largely speaking, that is about as close to a full 60 as Atlanta's seen so far.
And now Atlanta FaZe forced to break in towards P3, which tends to be a money hill on a map like Karachi. And this might be where Sim could play the timing to at least snip through the back. He doesn't even have to invest the cruise missile. He's going to get right past the setup of the Subliners. Should be able to find a freebie to start off these straight fights.
Oh, and that's not going to be something that Skies is going to be happy to come over to his squad mates doing, like, what? Simp got behind us. Trophy system has been seen by Simp. I think he knows that Simp's playing over towards Junkyard side. And we're just happy to keep this hardpoint neutral for now. Sib back, though, over through the backside at Garage, does well to help out Skies find maybe an entryway back in. Simp, though, prepared for it. Trades from Kismet, good. Once again, 50-50 battles over the top of P3. Hydra last one standing. Can he find more than one? No. And it's a 3-for-1 exchange as Atlanta will start earning some time here on the third.
And that all comes down to Simp just finding an opening, man. Didn't even have to invest a cruise missile. He's able to sneak his way on Pi right through bottom coops. And he finds a double right off the respawn onto Hydra. So the final 20 is going to go in favor of Atlanta. They're going to put themselves up by almost 50 points. But now the Subliners forced to do double trouble. You have to soak up as much time as you possibly can off the P4, but just in case it gets a little bit scary, Simp has that cruise.
Crucial moment in this map. New York trying to get a reverse sweep and a map 5 on the cards. Perfect time to see how the Subliners are feeling. The New York Subliners listen in.
Yo, I spawn front diner.
Back market on me.
I'm gonna top market, MC.
Chasing him.
Top market, yep. MC, top market, one top third. I'm laying down that. One shot, they won. One shot, they won.
Last guy you won. Last guy you won.
I'll get time. One shot. Last time.
Last guy you won.
Yeah. Yo, back white truck, Joss.
Good job. Go top 3.
Back white truck, dead.
Nice.
I'm getting off time, guys. I still going down there. I need help. I got naded from the low side.
Good job. I don't see him on time.
Nice. More. I spawned 2v1 on the left. I spawned 18. Last three here. Maybe one spawn new.
I couldn't shoot him.
Money. Pretty sure one spawn new.
Alright, 3 unknowns. No one knew. There's no one new. 100%.
I spawned A2 though.
Okay, maybe there's
Yo, one's gonna be pinching you fire. I'm watching top fire. Yeah, care. Watch top fire from 10. I'm gonna repinch it. Let me do it. That's all I have. Nice. It was a BZ.
Looking for draws and a BZ.
Let's go to the back. Help both of them. Yo, low market right now. He with the tools. Helping you. I have your back there. They're gonna be dying behind us too, guys. P3. I'm getting it dark. P3. Inside. P5. I'm getting P3 dead. No, one shot. Back out. One guy my dark.
Josh is dead.
In the back.
In the back, dead.
One more, same spot.
I got them both.
I'm missing one in front. That was full dead?
Yes. I'm
on
P3.
Yo, top head. He's on the balcony, on the stairs, laying down. On top of the stairs, on top head.
Heard you.
What the fuck? On time.
Time, and he pitched it back.
Nice. Stand left. I'm going dark. Give me a sec. I'm going dark.
I'm gonna go right here.
I'm top with you. Top out. I sometimes empty. Yep, dark time.
And B Street Sim going scaff. B Street went scaff.
You follow me then. I'm gonna go green. Twin.
B Street went scaff.
They're going top it. Yo, top green, cutting. He's going to you. Top gen's dead. Nice shit. They're gonna go right. They're gonna wrap green. They're gonna wrap top 3. One's gonna be 5.
Moment of maybe the air letting loose from the lungs here of New York. Felt like they had a really good survival moment through the cruise missile, but it's just Celium stays alive, blows up the play, and now Atlanta will in rotation back over to P1 with kills to boot here, Jay.
Yeah, they're finding all the kills in the feed, man. Subliners, they have to get a move on it, try to get in towards the P1 because Atlanta FaZe are only 10 seconds away from securing this series.
And Abizi's watching one side of the play. He may be enough. No, Hydra does confirm the trade. Now the dash right back in. Low health pools for FaZe, but they're still winning gunfight. Skies, last one left, denied. And Atlanta FaZe in a map that felt super tight. Outside of what? Sip sneaking through to P3, and then Celium there at P5. That felt like, the big moments of the map, because really it was a back and forth affair except for those 2 little rogue plays.
Yeah, because if the Subliners are able to not allow Sip to sneak on by, then they would have had to invest that cruise missile to try to find a break on P3. And that's very difficult to even find a kill with at certain situations because we got players pushed out towards junk. The guy in the hill, we know he's not going to fall. But once you allow Sip to sneak on by, then you're forced to re-break back into it. And then now this Atlanta FaZe still have that cruise missile to break into P5. I thought the Subliners as soon as we jumped into a listening, they were accounting for everyone. You even heard Sib, no one in towards the back. He was able to go on a little bit of a spree there to at least put the spawns in favor of New York and shut down that first pressure, even with the cruise missile coming in. It's just like you said, Selim staying alive, giving his team another opportunity to find the break. And when they found that break, they did not look back at it, as they are going to be able to close out this hard point, close out the series 3-1. But Atlanta FaZe is just continue to do Atlanta FaZe things, man. They are just dominating in these respawns. They clutch up in a new search and destroy method they have yet